The original title of this talk is Wordplay, the Path to Lyrical Language, and that will make sense later on. Language learning is serious business. We all understand how important it is that our children learn how to read and to write. Once mastered, these twin skills can enhance their lives immeasurably and serve them well in any vocation or career of their choosing. There's a very real and fundamental dollars and cents aspect to the mastery of these skills. The eventual earning power of the young people we serve will, to some degree, be affected by their success in the language arts or their lack of it. For these and other reasons, we are right to take language learning seriously. The problem, though, is that we may take it a little too seriously at times, swinging the pendulum from the delightful wordplay of early childhood to the dry, regimented grind of grammar acquisition, spelling proficiency, sentence diagramming, and the mechanics of structure. Unfortunately, a child's natural love of the music of language is often lost in the process. And we spend years trying to figure out how to restore it. That's where lyrical picture books can play a vital role. I'd be willing to wager the first books you remember are picture books with words that sing. These are certainly some of my favorite books to write. This is from At Break of Day. Night had a beauty all its own, and so did day. But the sun longed for a touch of color. So he commanded a coil of blue ribbon to unravel across the gloomy haze and to stretch itself between the heavens above and the waters below. The ribbon seemed rather plain, though. So he added tinted swirls of rose and purple, orange and gold, and wispy puffs of white. There, said the son, finally satisfied. The father smiled and called the ribbon sky. Let there be velvety mosses and rose-covered meadows, lilacs and long trailing vines, hyacinths and honeysuckle, birch and beech, and hearty trees whose branches are heavy with fruit, said the son. And let each one be full with its own kind of seeds, so that will be growing trees and plants for many years to come. And there were. As a poet, I live for this kind of language. The music of it makes my heart leap. We all love listening for the music of words, don't we? That's one thing no one has to teach us. Years ago, Dr. Briscoe, a one-time teacher at Clara Barton Elementary in Southern California, shared the poetry of Meet Anitra Brown with her so-called low-achieving students. They responded to the work so well, she developed a sub-curriculum around the book and found the material useful at motivating both reading and writing among students the system had written off. Soon, teachers throughout the district were following her lead. By the time I visited Clara Barton, I found poetry blossoming everywhere, and it was a thing of beauty. Why does poetry have such an impact on children? Maybe because poetry is musical. It can be memorized or sung or secreted away in the back pocket of the mind, like the very best kind of earworm. This is especially true if the poem rhymes, like, Zuri Jackson, that's my name, count to 3, it's still the same. Turn the rope and watch me spin. Quick, Denitra, jump on in. Whether it's the alphabet song or a jump rope rhyme or the rhythm of patty cake, poetry has a special appeal for children, and it's the music of the language that draws them in. In fact, the natural pairing of language and music is innate. In early childhood especially, children will turn anything spoken into song. They do it all the time. They do it unconsciously. They don't just say mom, they sing mom. They don't just say I'm coming, they sing I'm coming. Recently, someone sent me a TikTok video of a young girl in the library checking out a pile of picture books to take home. Unbeknownst to the girl, her mother had slipped a copy of her favorite book into the pile, and the book happened to be Bedtime for Sweet Creatures. The minute the child saw the book, she broke out in song, sang about the book the entire time she was at checkout. And then once done, she broke out into a dance of celebration. Her passion for that book was on full display, and she could care less who saw it. That video gave me a rush. That, I thought, is why I do what I do. What elicited the child's response? The art was certainly joyful, but I suspect the language had something to do with it as well. Your eyes swell wide as owls. Let's go, I say. Who, you ask, as if you didn't know. Your bookshelf is noisy with stories. Which one, I ask? You point, frozen like a fawn, until you hear, once upon a time. You yawn and grind your teeth like a squirrel, ready to nibble the night. I'm not sleepy, you tell me. I smile and tuck you in tight. No one has to force a child to read a story with words that sing. When we use lyrical language, we are literally speaking in their mother tongue. Of course, they respond to it. It's as natural to them as breathing or daydreaming, and both are a reflection of a creative mind. However, if we're not careful, we'll beat those beautiful creative impulses right out of them. When I sat down to write Words with Wings, which began as a picture book, by the way, what drove me was a desire to celebrate daydreaming and to possibly coax teachers to rethink how they responded to the daydreamers in their classrooms. I was once that daydreamer, and I wanted both teachers and readers to understand the beauty and value of daydreaming. First day. I ducked down in the seat of my new class. To these kids, I'm not Gabby yet. I'm just shy girl who lives inside her head. No one even knocks on the door for a visit. They don't know it's beautiful in here. We need daydreamers. We need to nurture the daydreamers among us. We need to encourage daydreaming in all of our young people. Chances are they will not reach their fullest potential without that precious facility. Instead of insisting children switch their daydreams off, we need to find ways to turn their daydreams on. A friend came across an interesting article by Carolyn Gregoire in the Huffington Post about creative minds. One of the things creatives do differently, according to this piece, is daydream. Yay. Quote, creative types know, despite what their third grade teachers may have said, that daydreaming is anything but a waste of time. According to Scott Barry Kaufman and psychologist Rebecca L. McMillan, who co-authored a paper titled Ode to Positive Constructive Daydreaming, mind wandering can aid in the process of creative incubation. And of course, many of us know from experience that our best ideas come seemingly out of the blue when our minds are elsewhere. Although daydreaming may seem mindless, a 2012 study suggested it could actually involve a highly engaged brain state. Daydreaming can lead to sudden connections and insights because it's related to our ability to recall information in the face of distractions. Neuroscientists have also found that daydreaming involves the same brain processes associated with imagination and creativity. End quote. Is daydreaming really something we want to squash? I don't think so. In Words with Wings, the character Gabby is mocked for daydreaming until a teacher creates space for all the children in his class to spend time each day daydreaming and capturing those daydreams on the page. Wish I'd had a teacher like that, especially when it came to my own freewheeling language use and occasional creation of new words. Something that young children do all the time, especially in play. Instead of encouraging that play, I remember a teacher who, in front of the entire class, discredited a poem I'd written, saying it was not really a poem because one line was longer than all the rest. Had I taken that teacher's words to heart, I'd likely have stopped writing poetry altogether and would never have gone on to write lines like these from Southwest Sunrise. I pad across a cool tile floor, spy a rope of red chili peppers dangling in the kitchen window. Bet it's the only color I'll find here. Everybody knows browns and tans are the only colors deserts are good for. Even so, I step outside to take a look around, gripping the field guide Mom gave me at breakfast. I flip through the pages, spot fancy named flowers in lots of bright shades I don't expect to find. Wait, there's the one called Wine Cup, spilling its burgundy beauty for me to drink up. And aren't those yellow bells? They wake up the desert with their silent ring. Oh, hot red firewheel flowers. Their tips flame yellow-orange across the canyon. There's a patch of calypso orchids. So glad I didn't miss them. Dancing purple in the wind. Had I treated that teacher's words like gospel, I doubt I would have gone on to compose golden shovel poems like the ones in One Last Word or Legacy, women poets of the Harlem Renaissance, or the picture book, The Watcher. No two lines are the same length in a golden shovel poem.